War Thunder, a game that can look amazing and beautiful, or a game straight out of 2002 on the original Xbox. It's a game that offers a ton of graphical options, so you can really run it on any old ancient machine or make it look really good on a modern system. But what if I told you there are people out there with top of the line PCs that are opting to use Minecraft graphics just for an advantage? It's a game all about visibility. If you can't spot the enemy before they spot you, you're dead. Simple as that. This raises the question, what are the best settings to maximize your ability to see enemies while still enjoying the game and trying to make it look still good and not like Minecraft? Starting off, I'll say this. Back in the day, low video card support and ultra low quality was the best option for visibility, point blank. However, now it's possible to have nice graphics and just as much visibility, if not more. Now, let's talk about the best visibility options in the game while still having the game look good. Let's start from scratch and set the overall quality to high. We're going to be turning a lot of these down, so don't worry. Now let's go over each setting together and show some comparisons. Before going over all of them, turn on SSAA immediately. This is such an important setting for visibility, and here's why. It does take some performance away pretty hard, however, it's truly worth it and it's self-explanatory just in this comparison. So if you can really run it, turn it on. Now resolution, make it the highest you can for that max clarity. If you're using a new card, just use D12 as it can help increase your FPS and performance just a little bit. Now anti-aliasing, this might be the first hot take in this video, but I prefer it off. No matter which method you use, it'll always give a little blur to everything. Here's a comparison, even using TAA, which is a really popular choice, it still has that blur. Since I'm going for max visibility, I'm going to turn it off as it gives everything a sharper look, and sharp is what we're gonna need, and you'll see later in the video why. You can really set anisotropy to 16 or 0. It's really up to you. In my opinion, it does help with long distance spotting just a little bit, but here's a comparison of it being on and off. So it's really truly hard to say. Now for post effects, simply turning up sharpness all the way up to 80 or even to 100 is the best way to go. This really helps bring out the tanks, and here's a quick comparison just showing how helpful this is. After that, I just use Reinhardt for tone mapping, and it just kind of increases your brightness, so you can kind of turn it to whatever you'd like, just depending on your monitor. I use about 80% or so. Textures is a weird one, and here's a comparison to show why. As you can see, surprisingly on high, it makes the ground a little smoother, especially at a distance, which makes it somewhat easier to see things on. I want my game to look good, especially texture-wise, so I'm going to stick with high because that smooth ground actually somewhat helps. However, this comparison kind of shows it's up to you. Now the rest of these are easy to go through, and the amazing graphics menu War Thunder has now shows why. The only important ones are shadow quality, SSAO, terrain displacement, and reflection quality, which should all be set to the lowest as they impact darkness of shadows or ground getting in the way of your vision. The rest are up to you, depending on how you want your game to look, so it shouldn't affect visibility too much, if at all. Turn on terrain quality to high if you really want to keep it looking good. Turn it off if you really like the ground looking weirdly smooth, but since I want my game to still look good and I don't think it affects visibility too much, I'm going to turn it on. Now for render details, you've probably seen these done 1,000 times, so it's not really hard to understand now. Now for tree range, turn that to the lowest you can. This means that trees, houses, and other props, the render distance for them is going to be super low, so there'll be less obstruction in the distance. Grass range, turn that on low as well. That just basically means less grass in the distance. Particle density being high means bigger explosions, so that can kind of get in the way, so turn that off too. Now the secret settings. If you have an Nvidia card, you can use filters to help bring out visibility even more. Now if you don't have GeForce Experience installed, install it. Now press Alt-Z to open it and go to Game Filter. Add a filter, and we're looking for detail. Here are my settings for it. Of course, sharpen is back again, and it's the most important one. Increase it to however you feel is right. If you go too much with it, it looks horrible and does the opposite of helping. I stick with about 25% or more or less, just in that 20 to 30 range. Now clarity, I don't bother using it too much as it makes the colors wash, and I didn't really find too much use for it. HDR toning is pretty nice. It brightens up colors that should be brighter. It makes the darks a little brighter too, but not too much, just to keep a nice contrast between the two. With these settings, as you can see, it helps a ton and really brings out that visibility just a bit more. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys like these comparisons.